I think a lot of people have been impacted in the way that they're sluggish, right? Which is why I pointed out earlier about the subjective well-being, right? Because when you know, let your hair grow out and you don't clean your room as much because, you know, there's no need, or, you know, when you don't put fresh clothes on every single fucking day, right? Because you don't have to go to the office, you don't have to appease anyone. When you don't have to appease anyone, it's a bit sad, but naturally, if you're like, you know, a natural human being and you don't like do shadow work behind the scenes, or you don't like look after yourself and your like soul, and you get into that conscious workspace that you get from writing, you start to deteriorate, basically.
Literally.
In the same way that if you don't go out there and you don't get that sunlight, you don't get that vitamin D, you're just gonna be like stagnant, you know. You're not gonna, and guys too, you guys are not gonna go and get like that girl you've been crushing on for a while, or you're not gonna get that dream job like you were saying, or you're not gonna start your side hustle. Because in reality, like that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to like start our side hustles, right?
You gotta get active now. Like, you don't wanna end up coming up to 30 something, you're still pissed off about your job and that.
You have a cycle in life, innit?
Yeah.
Like one of my close friends, like he bangs on about cycles a lot, right? And like cycles, they do definitely repeat yourself until you break that cycle, you know. So for example, with me, like I'm very weird in it, because low key, like I've had this mapped out since I was young, innit?
Yeah.
Like since I was at uni, I was like, okay, cool. I know that I'm kind of passionate about marketing. What I want to do is I want to start a website. I want to get like my freelance going, etc., etc. I've been putting that off because I've been focusing on my career, right? Well, that's the reason that I gave for not doing it, right? Or my poetry account. I wanted to always get into the more philosophical kind of thing and actually give people digestible nuggets that they can take and they can actually use to improve their life, you know? Like, I don't know, I spoke about, sorry for flipping you off. I spoke about the social dilemma, you know, and how like social media impacts, you know, society, and how like those behaviors that it's trying to get you to comply with will take away from your vision.
Yeah.
You know, essentially, you know, if you're scrolling on a feed, obviously you guys know the drill. Like, you know, you get caught up and then you don't finish that report that was due next Monday. You know what I mean? And I don't know, I guess I've been putting that off as well, innit? Until just now. And it's probably because stuff is opening up again. You know, I get to see my boys again. I get to see CJ without worrying about, you know, feds and that, like, you know, because they're actually about. Like these police, they were bored in quarantine lockdown. Like, I swear, I was just driving with my guy, yeah? I was in Bournemouth. We were just driving about. And they were like, excuse me, what are you kids doing? Like, we were going 30 miles per hour in a 30 miles per hour zone. And they were like, that's a car that's not meant to be there. It's like,
they're just trying to find stuff to to complain about.
It's like, I don't like the way they went round the roundabout.
Pull them over.
It wasn't anything. I'm not even saying it's a racial thing. I am. I'm not saying it's a racial thing. But like, that's what happened. We just got pulled over. They spoke to us for like 20 minutes. They took our details and they said, you know what, you can go now.
I can imagine that interaction with, I don't like the
I don't like
engine.
your tone of voice.
Yeah.
You know when you get home a little bit late when you were younger and your parents are like, so why were you out late? And you were like, no, I wasn't. What's your tone? It's like, I'm just talking to you, bro. Like, what do you mean? In the same way, like, you know, police abuse their power, as we all know. But yeah, no, 20 minutes of my time just gone. For what? But then, guess what would have happened if I was a little bit aggressive? I would have been in the cell, bro. Straight away, like, you know? So, I mean, there's always going to be, like, cruxes in life, innit? There's always going to be things to deter you from the vision. But, like, you got to bypass it, you know? And the way that you can sharpen your tools is to work behind the scenes. You know, and that's kind of what we're trying to do now with these books, bro. Like, what did I read, bro? I read, just, like, How to Win Friends and Influence People is, like, such a good book to become, like, a pleasant presence to be around.
I think what makes the book even more significant is the fact that the advice that they give you, it's hella simple advice.
Very simple.
Very simple, but it's like, it's something that you wouldn't have thought about. It's not some like, oh, you have to do blah, 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 you have to do blah, 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 this. It's just, how about you do this?
It's like just certain words that you shouldn't use. Because people are so defensive. And they're so like volatile. You know? Like simple things like, okay, people enjoy appreciation. But guess what people don't enjoy? Being reprimanded. Being told off. And they get their guards up. It's like, okay, don't allow that side to come out of other people. You know? Or trying to hone that in. Like, sharp criticisms and then futility. I mean, like, he makes the references to, like, Abraham Lincoln. You know? If you look at a $5 bill and you look at it in his eyes, from his point of view, and how would he solve that problem? So, it basically just says, like, criticism is ammunition for resentment. So, you're not going to build goodwill with that person on your next encounter. They're going to see you as slightly less significant because you said a bad thing about them, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, what's the point? In the long run, if that person does, like, serve you and will, like, you know, help you and it'll be mutually beneficial, then why would you break the goodwill that you already have built?
Yeah.
You know? In the same way, if we, like, build this audience, whatever, like, people are starting to tune in and then we're, like, not grateful about it, you guys are going to be like, what the fuck? And then you unsubscribe. You know? It's like simple things, but it just sort of puts you on the right track, you know? Speaking with other people is one of the ways that can be detrimental to your success, innit?
Exactly.
So, yeah, we just waffling.
Waffling.